You know, I think the car is missing something.
What, the exhaust?
Nah, it's not the exhaust, something else. I don't know.
What, the dashboard?
Nah, that's why, don't worry about that. It's something else, just can't really put my finger on, you know? There. I know what it is. It needs a big roof basket on the top of it.
What the actual fuck?
Yeah, so you heard me right. We're going to make a roof basket for the Micra. Right here, I have the CAD design of the actual roof basket. And right here, I have a pile of steel tube. I got 15 meters of 33 by 33 mil and 20 by 20 mil. So yeah, I'm going to cut these. And then tomorrow morning, we're probably going to start welding. Let's send it. So I actually started off by making the roof bars for the car, which the roof basket was going to mount onto. As you can see, there's a lot of measurements on the roof of my car because I drilled holes into the roof of my car. You'll see why later, don't worry about it. Next up, I TIG welded some legs for the actual roof bars. The roof bars were just two 1 meter pieces of 20 by 20, and right here we have the legs for them. Not the prettiest welds, but they're actually quite strong. That's the bolts in the holes that I was talking about, and there's the legs mocked up. And once I had the legs on the car, I tacked the bars in place so I know the whole geometry of things would be right and I wouldn't have any issues actually mounting the bars. And soon enough we had ourselves some DIY roof bars for my Micra. So yeah, we were off to a good start. I also sealed the holes for the bolts with silicone, so we're getting no water in the car, which is good. And then to test out these DIY roof bars, we put a pallet on top of the car and then climbed on top of the car to test the strength, and it was absolutely mint, no issues. Now, next up, I did get a bit carried away and forgot to record me making the first piece of the roof basket, but basically this was one of the sides. Luckily, however, there is more than just one side for the roof basket, so here's how I made them. With both sides done, it was time to link them together and create the frame for the roof basket. And yes, at this point I did switch to stick welding because I realized paying for all the gas just wouldn't be worth it to TIG weld this whole thing, especially as I'm trying to keep it a sort of a budget project. It's just a roof basket, it doesn't need to look perfect, and I'd much rather TIG weld like the exhaust manifold and all of those things for the turbo, which if you didn't know, I do plan on turboing the Micra very soon. So yeah, anyway, let's get back to the roof basket. And there we go, we finally have something that looks like a frame. Next up, it was time to weld the supports for the planks. For the front and rear supports, I actually ended up cutting a bar in half, just simply because I didn't actually have enough. And they go welded in right there, just like that. And then it was time to make the middle supports, and I did have enough bar for this one, so they got welded in too, just like that. And with those done, the roof basket finally started taking shape. The only things we were missing now was the front and rear sides. Well, they're not actually sides, but I don't know what to call them, okay? Before getting to work on those, I did trick my friend into doing unpaid labor for me and got him to take apart these pallets, which we later used as the decking. Bro, what are you doing, man? And out. Lovely. And while he was doing that, I got to work on the final two pieces. The design of these are pretty much the same, except they're not as tall because I'm going to mount them in a way that they're going to fold down on hinges. You'll see later. And with the two final parts done, it was time to weld them onto the hinges and onto the frame. However, I had to make sure it was all nice and clean first. And that is an improvement, to say the least. After carefully measuring where the hinges would go, it was time to weld them on. And after a little bit of work, we got all 4 hinges welded in. With that being said, we did run into some clearance issues. With all problems temporarily out of the way, I went ahead and made these little brackets for the foldable sides, or whatever they are, to actually be able to lock into place. And then also added these 4 bars to just make it look a bit better, I guess, I don't know. And after making sure it was all nice and clean once again, it was time for primer. With the primer done and me realizing I actually didn't have any black paint to continue painting it, I decided to move on and mock up the planks and drill the holes for the decking. Anyway, then I measured, drilled and cut some slots and holes for the roof basket to actually mount onto the roof bars. And after getting some black paint, it was time to finally paint it. And once that was done, I screwed in the planks. And once that was also done, the roof basket was pretty much finished. So I guess I'll let the results speak for themselves. Right, so as you can see, we have finished making our DIY custom roof basket for my K11 Micra. I'm very happy with how it came out. Only one thing I would do now is definitely varnish the wood because I want it to be nice and waterproof so that it doesn't like rot. I definitely think it's a very unique thing we did because I haven't seen many people with a custom roof baskets for their K11 Micra, and it's actually very handy because I can put like loads of stuff on top of this and I can stand on my car. I can even sleep on my car actually. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to make this, go camping in it, you know. So if you've enjoyed watching this video, please do consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate that. Also make sure to check out the TikTok and the Instagram. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you on the next one.